Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I am Matthew, and today we're looking at some more Dragon Ball Z Dragon Star action figures from Bandai. We've been looking at a whole bunch of them lately, and they have been super impressive as always, and I would imagine that trend's going to continue today because what we're looking at today, is essentially their deluxe series figures. This is the Dragon Star's PowerUp pack. And we're looking at today Super Saiyan Vegito. And what makes it different from all the other figures we've been looking at? Well, I'll go ahead and slide on in a Vegeta over here. This is the normal Dragon Star figure of Vegeta. And generally, these figures will come with like maybe one or two other hands, very limited accessories, not really a lot in there, and rarely any like power moves or super moves, that kind of thing. But in the case of this Super Saiyan Vegito here, we are getting some special effects, I guess you can call it, because you guys can see already we have some beam effects, we have a base behind him, there's a lot going on, and that makes this a real heavy-duty, big-time player in the Dragon Ball toy series. So let's talk about this packaging real quick. Much like every other figure we've seen from the Dragon Ball Dragon Stars line, same kind of black, same sort of impact crater look. Really nice use of different tones of black also. You know, you've got this nice crack look here, which is darker, and the more gray neutral tone behind it. As always, we got some shiny lettering in here, which does look really nice. Looks good if you're keeping this thing in package, but I don't think I will be because I gotta review this thing. On the side of the packaging, we have an image of Vegito over here and some different ones on this side. So we're actually getting a bunch of images, which is different from all the other packages we looked at so far. Now, the back is also where it's very different from other Dragon Ball Bandai figures in that there's actually information here. Like, this is a big deal because if you guys recall, when we looked at our Vegeta and Nappa figures, for example, not really anything there. It's just a look at the other two figures in the line. That's it. That's basically it here. But in the case of this PowerUp pack here, we get to look at all the characters who are in this line, and we get to see everything that they come with. So that would include here a Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, and the Vegito that we're looking at right now. So this is really nice because we're getting a full tease of who's in this, and we're seeing what they come with. And for you Dragon Ball collectors, I mean, this is like the one to get. This is like the super deluxe one because it comes with everything you need to have a complete diorama setup, have them really in action fighting, and have those really cool power effects. So the box is awesome, pretty informative, nicely designed. Again, I love that you can see everything in there, but this isn't going to be one of those reviews where you just stare at the box, so let's go ahead, get our Vegito out of the packaging, and take a closer look at him from all angles. All right, and here is our Super Saiyan Vegito out of the packaging now. Let's take a closer look at him because, oh man, we got some stuff to talk about here. Now, if you've been watching any other videos that we've done about these Dragon Ball series, you already know a lot about these guys, and really there's nothing different about him at all in terms of being a figure. Like, we can talk about the likeness and how it looks exactly like it does in the anime. That's perfect, nailed it, spot on. Really nice shiny hair too, speaking of. We can talk about the earring, which is there too. He even got the earring detail on there, both sides, looking very nice, shiny earrings. Let's talk about this hair for a second, because, you know, why not? If we're gonna be on the topic of likenesses, which again, you know, I've already said this a bunch of times, but translating a 2D thing like Dragon Ball into 3D is such a difficult thing to do, but Bandai is excellent at it, and they nail it every single time that they do it, and really no difference here. I do want to talk about this hair though, because as always, when you talk about Super Saiyan hair, it's like some of the coolest stuff out there. And yeah, really, just, they got it right. Like, look at how good that is. Very pointy, very tall, nice texture in there, and they're not going crazy. They're not like trying to sculpt every single individual hair detail, because that would make no sense to do that for Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball doesn't do that. You just have a few lines every now and then to let you know that it is hair, and man, it's some hair. They really do have like the craziest hair in Dragon Ball. But yeah, it's looking great. And let's talk, I think, articulation next, which, you know, you can already see a little bit of here. So he has a ball-jointed head, just like the other figures, as well as this neck joint here kind of moves a little bit too. We have full range of motion in the shoulders. I was worried about this because, again, he's got some shoulder pads here, but just like we saw with Vegeta and Nappa and their shoulder pads, which you guys can see here, you know, are quite massive, these do move. There's nothing really hindering them. So you get that full range of motion that you're looking to get here. I mean, it does move separately, but it moves. And that's what matters. The fact that you can get it to move into positions to help you get the poses that you want. We've got a bicep swivel here, as well as double jointed elbows and wrists that can bend and flex and rotate. And yes, they come off as you see there. So I'm gonna stick this one back on, but we'll get back to his hands a little bit later. The waist is the thing that sometimes has been a troublesome thing, but it's moving all right here. It is a little tight just because of the sash, but it does move. And he can also do some of this here because we have a nice big T-hinge piece. So because of the shape of his crotch piece, though, he can't exactly kick like a straight front kick. You can still get other kicking poses from it, just a little bit different. Also, he has double jointed knees, which you can see right here. But keep in mind, because his pants are so thick, it does kind of hinder a little bit of movement. yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work to get certain kicks. So maybe this just isn't the kind of character you kick a lot with. I mean, considering what accessories he comes with, it probably makes sense to not have him kick as much. And the feet also ball jointed, very flexible. That looks fine. Really no issues there whatsoever with the feet moving around. But yeah, Bandai figures and Dragon Ball figures always have great posability. Really, there's no exception to the rule here. This figure just as good as any other ones that we looked at. So let's talk accessories, because that's where this is going to really change things up for us here. So as I already mentioned, and we already kind of saw, his hands do pop out. We have an additional pair of hands here, so one for each hand, and generally what they do is one pair of closed fists and one pair of open hands. So we're going to swap the open hands on now, because that is what's going to go perfectly with the next pair of accessories we have here, or trio of accessories, I guess. And yeah, I love hearing that popping sound. That is the pop of success. There we go. Hands are in. You're now in perfect position to do a projectile attack. So I think that means in this case, it's time to talk about those really cool additional accessories. And one of those is this piece right here. So we have 3 translucent pieces that are going to make up their power effect. That is what makes the PowerUp pack different from all of the other figures in this lineup. Now, a lot of the other figures in this series, they have hands that actually have holes in them so that they can hold their beams. You can see here our Vegito does not have that. So that means he will just be holding his power-ups. And according to the packaging, that's basically what he's supposed to be doing here anyway. So you are supposed to essentially just like wiggle this into position, and he can actually hold this like he's going to be shooting it. Now, how you do that? Well, that's up to you to figure that one out, you guys. But let's see, it shouldn't be terribly difficult to do. I think it's like one hand is on the outside, one hand's on the inside. And there you guys go. You can see it right here. So that's how that's going to look. And we also have, to go with that, this big boy here, this giant block of plastic. Let me move up my Vegito so we can get this behind him. But yeah, we have this giant energy thing right behind him, which is even as tall as the figure, actually a little bit taller it looks like. So there you guys go. So now he is really powering up. That looks so good on camera. Wow. Oh wow. Yeah, no, that looks great. Let me pull back a little bit so you can see just how it looks too with this whole body and frame. Man, that's looking good now. I mean, it was already looking good before, but now it's like a whole new level. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. I think this is what Dragon Ball Z collectors want, especially, is they want those power effects, and oh boy, you're getting it here. So that's how he's looking with that. But he also comes with one other power effect. This one's a little bit weird to me though. Now, this effect here is meant to be the beam shooting out of his hand, but unfortunately, he doesn't actually have any hands to specifically hold it with. Like, you can actually see there's a little hole here. So like, I don't think I'm supposed to just pop it onto his hand without like a hand, that'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? But let's just try that and see if that actually is what they want us to do, because okay, maybe that is actually what I'm supposed to do here. So it's kind of weird, but as you can see here, it does fit, does work. It just doesn't quite look right to me. But I mean, yeah, you're getting it, you're doing it. He's firing off a big old heckin' beam, so okay, I mean, he's doing it. It just kind of looks weird, the fact that he doesn't have a hand here. So I get the feeling maybe there's something else I'm missing here with this guy. Maybe you guys in the comments let me know what's up with that, because it feels kind of weird. But besides that, really, I mean, the fact that you have the other elements here, especially this back piece here, I mean, this makes him really stand out and look very, very cool. Now let's compare him to a few other figures, and since we are talking Dragon Ball, why don't we go ahead and bring in our Vegeta, and let's bring in our Nappa. Boom, so there you guys go. If you want to check out my review of both of these guys, there's a whole video all about them, so make sure to check that out on my channel. But you guys can see in terms of height, I mean, everything is good. The one thing you can note here is that everybody's basically the same height. I feel like Nappa should be bigger, but he's not. He's basically the same height as every other guy we're looking at here today. Really, the other characters are taller because they have bigger hair. I mean, Nappa still is like girthy and bigger and wider and more broad than these two guys are. But in terms of height, that might not be quite right. So, any of you hardcore Dragon Ball fans want to let me know, go ahead and let me know in the comments if this is accurate, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm not getting too nitpicky about it. I know a lot of folks are very nitpicky about size, and I would be too if it was another figure, if it was a more expensive figure especially. But the fact that these guys are like, what, under $25 still a piece, I'm not gonna really nitpick too much. I'd love it if he was bigger, if that's the case, but I can get why, and it still looks pretty good the way it is. But yeah, that's how these guys look side by side. Let's just try another figure or two here. And I've got my WWE basic Eddie Guerrero, because, you can't have Dragon Ball without Eddie Guerrero, right? And I've got a Cobra Bat Trooper from G.I. Joe Classified. So these are essentially figures from two other lines, one from Mattel, one from Hasbro, and they're in scale. Whether they are the correct scale, of course, that is a different story altogether. I don't know if they're actually the right scale. but they match up. And to me, that's good enough because at least that means you guys can have your big old universe with everybody hanging out together. That part makes me happy. Now the question is this PowerUp pack worth it? Because really what you're getting is the same as any of the other figures in this lineup. You're just getting these extra PowerUp accessories. And for my money, I would say, yeah, I think it is worth it actually, because you kind of do need it to complete the look. And it's in scale, because otherwise you're going to be buying some of the other ones that are like for 5-inch figures, and they are noticeably smaller. They're not going to fit necessarily. I think for the price point, what you're getting, definitely worth it. So yeah, if you are a super Dragon Ball fan, you're going to want to get the PowerUp packs to be really complete. And the nice thing too is that, all the hand joints are swappable. It's a universal hand joint, so you have gloved hands here. That means one gloved hand on a character with an open hand that can hold a beam can swap onto another character with a glove. Or for example, the Goku that has ungloved hands that are basically, this kind of flesh color anyway, that can go onto any figure. So if you get one PowerUp pack, you're getting a lot of mileage for it because those PowerUp accessories can go onto any toy. So final thoughts on the Super Saiyan Vegito. I've said it about all the other Dragon Ball figures, really anything from Bandai, I have very little bad to say about them. They're very strong action figures, they look good, likeness is great, painting is always perfect, no issues there. Articulation, very solid, very flexible toys. And getting these extra PowerUp accessories are really, really nice. It's critical to have these for Dragon Ball toys. The one thing I do wish we had was a proper way for him to hold that beam. I don't know what's up with that, but if you guys know what's up, let me know. But otherwise, Dragon Ball collectors, you gotta get these. If you're not buying these, you're really missing out on some awesome pieces of merchandise. That said, if you want to pick them up for yourself, go ahead and check out my Amazon affiliate links in the description below. We're going to have links for this and other Dragon Ball figures that we looked at on this channel. Definitely worth picking up. So that's our look at Super Saiyan Vegito from the Dragon Ball Dragon Stars PowerUp pack. Another highly recommended Dragon Ball figure, so do not miss out on him. So until next time, I'm Matthew, this has been Nerd News Today, and we will see you Kamehame next time.